Salve, salve, rapaziada. Vamos chegando aí na livezinha, tropa. Salve, broto. Beleza, tá ok aí, mano? Pra vocês aí? O áudio. Tudo mais. Deixa eu ver aqui. Aqui tá certo. Tá certo. Joguinho aí, rapaziada. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Salvar essa porra em live, hein, rapaziada. Metal Gear, caralho. Eu sou fã de Metal Gear, porra. O brilho aqui tá certo. Vamos salvar aí, rapaziada. Metal Gear, porra. Salve, salve, Carlos. Beleza. Salve, broto. Começar um novo jogo aqui, ó. Primeira vez jogando a série Metal Gear? Não. Eu gosto de Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear 3, Metal Gear 4, Metal Gear Peace Walk. Já joguei todos, mano. Inclusive, já salvei todos. O único que eu não joguei, cara, foi o Metal Gear 5, hein? Não, o Metal Gear 5 eu joguei, porra. Joguei. É o Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain. Eu gosto de qualquer jogo da série. Vou pôr isso aqui. Gosto de qualquer jogo, lógico. Estilo novo. Estilo original, né? Que é do Play 2. Não, quero estilo novo. Estilo novo. Jogar no normal, né, rapaziada? Difícil. Soldados inimigos têm poder de ataque e habilidade de detecção aumentada. Título Fox avançado com a classificação mais alta. Itens sensoriais disponíveis. Sensor antipessoal. Extrema. O medidor de vida inicial de Snake é de 2 a 3, do tamanho normal. Soldados inimigos têm poder de ataque e habilidade de detecção considerável aumentados. Título Foxhound, alcançável com a classificação mais alta. Itens sensoriais indisponíveis. Detector de movimento. Sonar ativo. Sensor antipessoal. Não, vou jogar o... Vou jogar no modo difícil, mano. Modo difícil. Esconder todas as dicas. Aí, ó, modo difícil, esconder todas as dicas e bora iniciar o Metal Gear aí, rapaziada.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Konami Presents. Baseado no Metal Gear Solid 3. David Ritter.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Salve, grego, beleza? Viu que lançou o Okong no Hydra? Não vi não, hein, mano. Depois eu vou dar uma olhada. Esse daqui eu baixei no Hydra, hein? É, vocês que me ensinaram.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask.
Você está ligado à história do... Você está ligado que esse daqui é o The Boss, né? É o Snake Eater. O outro é o Solid Snake.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch. External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
Esse jogo aqui eu já zerei, viu, rapaziada? No Play 2, né?
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate the alarm bottle.
This is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump.
Metal Gear.
10
Metal Gear
seconds to
Solid
drop off.
Delta.
Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop-off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
É louco, o bicho é foda, mano. O bicho é foda, mano. Snake Eater. Deu Kojima.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 design bureau.
Parabéns, eu
one of
Game
the
Shanks.
Soviet's
Comprou
top secret
PC,
weapon
mano.
research facilities, and the East's
Outra
foremost
pegada,
expert
né?
on weapons
Fala a
development.
verdade.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why'd he want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
Ah, esse jogo aqui é na Hydra, papai. Na Steam nada.
Holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President
JFK
demanded
aí, ó.
that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba. And so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight.
Eu vi o novo Luffy, hein?
Then a
Vai
month
sair,
ago,
hein?
we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He
Salve,
was
Gabriel,
taken back to the
beleza?
research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
Metal Gear, pai.
No,
Obrigado.
according to our intelligence,
Achei
he's
ontem,
in
mano. Vou zerar esse
Selino
jogo
Yas,
aqui.
a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
Já zerei, né? No Play
Virgin
2, né?
Cliffs.
Mas esse novo,
Nice
esse
name for a
novo não.
virtuous mission.
Delta.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us. Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino Yas in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat Talon?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Vai começar o joguinho, hein? Major.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
Well, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
Well, you've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom.
Não sei se vocês conhecem a história, rapaziada, mas vocês estão ligados que esse Snake não é o mesmo Snake do PlayStation 1, né? O Solid Snake. Esse daqui é o Naked Snake. Foi o primeiro Snake da franquia.
Weapons and equipment to procure on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No. There's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. Do you know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.
Bora pro gelo. Pera aí, mano. Deixa eu mexer aqui nas opções. Equilibrado, né, mano? A plaquinha não aguenta. A mochila tá aqui, ó.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it in the survival viewer. Choose your available weapon from that for other.
Got it. Use.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental. After you've been out in the... If your stamina gets too low, you won't be able to shoot. Keep an eye on your... To recover lot, you can use...
My only weapon.
That's right. It's been fitted with its own... However, the one... You can't... No, you're...
How?
Just take the... If you... This is what you...
Hello, as in a medic who comes in by...
Aren't you going...
And you...
There.
I was... My...
She's... Whenever you want to...
That's right.
Good to know.
There's one... A legendary...
The boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top-secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
É a mentora dele,
I taught you
rapaziada.
everything you needed to know
Essa
about
é a
fighting
boss.
techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and in fact, and
Is that...
Bom.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Ei, filha da puta! Caralho, mano. Nunca tinha ido pelo pântano, ó. Caralho, mano. Caralho, ontem eu joguei, eu fui por cima. Que merda. Nem saber que ele... Ah, o crocodilo me pegou, mano. Por aqui, ó. Ó, o outro ali, ó. Por aqui, ó. Tem um pato aqui, ó. Gaga! Gaga! Tem um bagulho ali, ó. Caralho, não tá dormindo essa porra? Vou procurar esses patinhos aqui, mano. Ai, filha da mãe. Vamos dar aqui esse sensor aqui.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that this...
Tem outro maluco aqui. Olha lá ele lá.
I think I saw some. Huh? Who was that?
Tá, puta. Ele me viu. Sei lá. Toma. Patinho ali em cima, ó. Grenade. Ali, ó, o maluco lá. Ai, tá de costa. Caralho. Ai, ai. Nossa, tá aí, Snake, porra. Gaga! Gaga! Tem outra aqui, ó. Da puta, ele vai alertar.
It's the enemy.
Vai, cai logo, cuzão. Aí. Patinho ali, ó. Caralho, mano, esse elefantinho aí no banheiro aí. Ô, bem, sabe só o nariz sem fazer a corneta, não é? Parece um elefante, mano. Sei que tem um aqui, deixa eu ver. Um sapinho aqui. Ali, ó. Em cima do bagulho ali, ó. Caralho. Ah, pô, tem dois caras vindo ali, porra. Ah, aqui tem um caminho, ó. Caramba, mano, tá bem aqui, mano. Ai, caralho. Deu outro. Caralho. Filha da puta, tava atrás de mim.
HQ, respond.
This is
HQ.
Patrol here.
I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory.
It's my imagination. Just my imagination. The enemy! He's here!
Merda.
I think I saw something.
Outra ali, ó.
Huh? Who's that? Huh? Oh! Just my imagination. What's wrong?
vindo aqui, ó. Uma patinha por aqui. Achei o Sokolov.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control. November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to